Hello, everyone, and welcome to My Cartoon DNA, the show where I take you through the cartoons and some anime that I grew up watching. And while doing so, I'm going to break down different parts of the show and how it affected me in my own life. My name is Daniel, and today we're going to be talking about. Hell yes, Adventure Time. This absolute fever dream of a show is what put the idea of creating my own cartoon in my head in the first place. It was a huge influence on my life, from friendships to personal goals, and of course, musically. I am so glad that this series got to live a second life on HBO Max as Adventure Time Distant Lands, which we'll probably try to touch on a little bit, but we're going to try to focus mainly on Adventure Time proper for this. For those of you new to this series, Adventure Time was a wild show that premiered on Cartoon Network in 2010, which was right around the time that I was finishing up middle school. The show is about Finn, the last known human in the land of Ooo, and his brother Jake the dog as they go on kick-ass adventures in and around the Candy Kingdom. This was most definitely a special time for Cartoon Network, as they were pretty deep into an age of incredibly weird shows. One of which was The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack, which Adventure Time's creator Pendelton Ward actually worked on for a couple years. But we don't talk about Flapjack. Adventure Time was so unique in its colors, premise, use of music, and characters that it caught my love instantly. It's a story about a kid running around a magical kingdom with his magical dog brother, who's voiced by Bender from Futurama. How can you not dig this? The show is an iceberg of weird and strange stuff, and I was totally there for it. It was so chaotic with hints of sweet and innocent story beats that would just melt your heart. So, let's get into just how much this show changed my life. Behind the trippy ways that this show surprises you and the extremely colorful scenery lies an incredible cast of characters. Finn and Jake take brothers to a whole other level with just how much they care for each other. They spend the entire series just having fun and taking care of one another. As the show introduces you to characters like Bimo, Princess Bubblegum, Marceline the Vampire Queen, and the Ice King, you see just how this family starts to grow over time. These relationships are the biggest connections we have throughout an otherwise chaos-ridden experience. The love, the loss, and the friendships that are broken and mended are the ultimate highlight of this show. Every one of these characters is funny and brave and at times completely bonkers. Some more than others, but in the world that they live in, it all just makes perfect sense. Now, I can only say so much that this show can't say for itself. The bold colors combined with the simplistic designs of each character are a fantastic example of less is more. For someone like me who wanted to get back into drawing, Adventure Time was such a great and fun place to start. It showed me that I can have fun with art again. These dopey looking characters and their environments are what I envision when I see myself making my own cartoon someday. Simple, very round designs are just cute and memorable, and those are the vibes that I want. The show wasn't afraid to switch it up either. When you look at the land of Ooo, you see just how much each environment changes based on where you go, and how unique they try to make each area of their world. You have these sweeping brushstrokes for the sky, and these simple green mounds for the hills, and you have these icy mountains that have these striking polygonal shapes that just stress how much they're different from everything else in the area. And that's not even including the really bold choices that they tend to make. The art in Adventure Time tells you a story just at a glance. It's simple, eclectic, it's beautiful, and in the end, it's just plain fun. It sounds dumb, but this part should be called Great Times, to be honest. Adventure Time easily pulled me in with how fun the show was in general, but what really sold me on it was the music. When I was in high school, I found a group of friends that would eventually become my bandmates, and later on in life, my family. Because of them, I was surrounded by music, and I gained a greater appreciation for it than I had before. And it just so happens, my friends love cartoons too. So, naturally, some of my friends and I learned how to play the songs from Adventure Time. So it's easy to say that this show's greatest gift to me was the musical connection that it brought to my life. Some of the songs from the show I sing to brighten my day, even now. I think back to singing and playing these songs walking around campus after school, and it just warms my heart. And for that reason alone, I'm incredibly grateful for this show for bringing me closer to the most important people in my life, and all through its music. In simple terms, Adventure Time opened my eyes to how cartoons can change someone's life. Watching this show just showed me that cartoons and animation don't have to be so cut and dry. They can have emotional resonance baked right into bright colors and wacky storylines. This show has so much more to offer, and of course, like a lot of cartoons, you don't notice it until you're older. It speaks to family, love, loss, mental health, broken relationships, and so much more. I was inspired by this show in so many ways that I just can't explain. For God's sakes, I named one of my pugs Jake because of this show. I learned that I wanted to be a voice actor because of this show. I learned that I wanted to sing in a cartoon because of this show. I want to make a cartoon like the one that changed how I viewed cartoons. I want to make a cartoon that's full of happiness and joy and most of all, music.
Make no mistake, I'm gonna sing a song that feels so real, it'll make this door break.
Thank you all for stopping by for another episode of My Cartoon D.N.A. As always, I hope you enjoyed your time here. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to let me know what makes up your cartoon DNA down in the comments, because I would genuinely love to know. That's why I make this show. And please, if you have any suggestions on what would make the show better or anything that you would like to hear, let me know in the comments. Until then, keep watching cartoons.